Oh gosh, he has the photo bomber. Hello, Manulu. Anyway, where was I? Hi everyone, good morning. Well, as we end this week on traits necessary for succeeding in our God-given purposes, the last one I'd like to suggest is most probably the most important, and it's faith. Of course, when we mention faith, Hebrews 11, the faith chapter of the New Testament, pops into my mind immediately. In chapter 11, the writer of Hebrews wants to say more than he has time for about faith, and it's in verse 32 to 34. And listen to what the writer says. Hebrews 11, 32 to 34, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation. How much more do I need to say? This guy's got lots to say. It would take too long to recount the stories of the faith of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and all the prophets. By faith, these people overthrew kingdoms, ruled with justice, and received what God had promised them. They shut the mouths of lions, quenched the flames of fire, and escaped death by the edge of the sword. Their weakness was turned into strength. What's more, all the stories of faith in Hebrews 11 are preceded with a writer declaring in verse 6, and it's impossible to please God without faith. Faith helped many people we read of in the Bible to turn weakness to strength. Using your and my gifts is a key to effectiveness, but the danger is that we become self-sufficient and bring glory to ourselves. However, our weaknesses are also not an excuse not to step out in faith in our God-given purposes, because our weaknesses, far from disqualifying us, actually qualify us when done in faith. You might recall the many people mentioned in the Bible who appear to have sometimes a debilitating weakness and yet were used by God in a mighty way. Sarah was too old. Joseph was betrayed. Moses stuttered. Samson was blind. Elijah was depressed. Naomi was poor. Martha was a worry pot. Zacchaeus was hated. Timothy was timid. Yet these weaknesses became the very point through which God's genius and strength manifested. This morning I want to ask you, is a weakness in your life preventing you from stepping into what God has called you to? Take heart. Take heart from Hebrews 11, and in faith, allow God to take your weakness and use it to fulfill His purposes. Amen. I trust your weekend's going to be restful. For many it's a long weekend. May God bless you, and I'll speak to you again on Monday.